Hey everyone, how you doing?
Doing
no
all
big,
right.
no big theory sesh at the beginning of this one. But however, I do want to look at some. Oh no, those are EP5 tips. I do want to look at the tips real quick.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Because I noticed some cool stuff in there now that is worth looking at. In a second here. Don't worry, it'll happen. I promise it'll happen.
Eventually. We'll get there.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Look at this! Beatrice, the elder sister, and Beatrice are separate entries. I still think this kind of plays into the idea that each of them represents a different person that has the capability of becoming Beatrice. I don't think that theory's been jettisoned yet, but it is interesting now that the game is being very explicit about the fact that there are two separate Beatrices and that the programmer Beatrice is a separate entity. Mm-hmm. It is interesting that the game is being very explicit about that. I mean, it's the answer arc, right? We're getting explicit about stuff like that. You want to read the tips for?
I'm Beatrice, One-sama. I'm a mysterious witch who existed even before the rules. I have the same name as Beato, but I wasn't given the goal of devoting myself to Battler. I'm the final version of the witch sealed away by Kinzo. I spend my days pulling small pranks and clearing away the magic-resistant toxin, all for the sake of my resurrection. I'm similar to the evil spirits of Akujikishima in many ways, such as my fear of spider webs. And my cool programming socks. All the evil spirits have those. I'm the one who gave Shannon the golden butterfly brooch.
Interesting. That's fascinating because this is the Beatrice that gives Shannon the butterfly brooch is not depicted as programmer Beatrice.
Yep.
Programmer Beatrice is specifically depicted as the Beatrice who is on the island, who people allegedly see. Right. That's interesting now.
Another thing before we click off of it.
Yep.
Spending the days pulling small pranks and clearing away the magic-resisting toxin sounds almost like Kumasawa spending her time spreading the little stories
that's
about
true.
the witch.
It does, doesn't it?
And how she's the night master of the mansion and all of keeping these legends alive.
It really does, actually. I don't think we've got anything else in here that needs... We don't have the Chesters in here. Oh well, sucks to be them, I guess. Yeah. Who needs the Chesters anyway, right? What have they done recently? Sometimes their heads move, and sometimes their expressions change, and sometimes they don't, and it's great.
Yeah.
Alright.
Back then, I was, and I guess I still am, a bit of a klutz. I always forgot where I'd put things, or think I'd locked something up when I'd actually forgotten.
Interesting. So we can't necessarily trust Shannon's reports of having locked stuff up.
I caused a lot of trouble. I remember how Aunt Natsuki used to get mad at you all the time. But eventually, Shannon managed to overcome all that forgetfulness.
Oh, and how'd you do that?
Magic.
What's magic?
It wasn't anything big, but I got into the habit of writing things down. I'd write down wherever I put something important. For things that happened often, I made a checklist and always made sure to check it. Have you read that book, The Checklist Manifesto? It's actually surprisingly effective.
So what? Did you see Beatrice or didn't you?
I didn't see her directly, but, well, some very strange things did happen.
She was talking about a certain summer night. Shannon had been doing the nightly rounds. From her perspective, it was a ghost story. From the witch's perspective, it was just a little summer night's prank.
Little sister, do you understand the anti-magic toxin that humans possess? No.
Left Beato is definitely ice cream's Beato, isn't she?
Yes, that one's ice cream's Beato. What is it, One-sama? Well, the time of witches has long since passed. Those vile humans who claim to rule over everything came to deny our existence and possess a powerful toxin. Is that toxin harmful to us? It is extremely dangerous. If we were exposed to it, our forms would probably evaporate in an instant. However, one thing we do have in our favor is the fact that our existence is still extremely weak. Because of that, the toxin does not affect us greatly. At worst, it can only transform us into mist for a time. I never want to grow up or have sex. I want to be a black wolf that can turn into mist.
What? Is that a common desire among witches? One-sama?
Yeah,
Do black mists that turn into wolves get to eat ice creams?
sure.
Oh, shit.
Correct. Yes, I see that you are indeed me. You catch on quickly.
Do you want to narrate the Beato
Sure.
section?
The older sister appeared to be haughty at first, but perhaps because she was so happy to have met her double and little sister, she was more than willing to teach her anything she wanted to know.
One other idea. This might also be a different servant that has since perished. This could be maybe the original canon. Remember how we talked about the idea that there was a canon a historical canon that has since died? Worth keeping in mind.
The first thing she taught was that they were witches, a different type of being than humans. Beato had thought her inability to use magic meant she wasn't a witch, but apparently she was still a witch nonetheless. And she learned that witches like her were bound by various limitations, unlike humans. The greatest of those restrictions was the anti-magic toxin possessed by humans. So, in other words, we mustn't enter a human's field of vision. Correct. You can think of it as though human eyes radiate the toxin. If they see you, it is the same as your body being burnt. And though the effect is weaker, being heard or sensed can also result in contact with the toxin. So, even just getting close to humans is dangerous to us. Wasn't Father a human? Why am I not burnt by Father's toxin? If we stock up magical power and have it acknowledged by humans, that toxin can be reduced drastically. In other words, by having our existence acknowledged by humans, we make them lose their toxin, making it possible for us to appear before them once more. I see. Simply put, as we are now, we can only exist when humans aren't around. We are still very lacking in magical power, which makes us inferior to even a stray cat hiding from humans in the shadows.
Excuse me, madam. Did you mean the shadows?
Yeah, the shadows.
I heard we were talking about the shadows in here. We're still doing that joke, right? That's still funny, right? That reference? Everyone's seen that movie.
The main goal of the older sister was to gain a large supply of magical power and be revived as a great witch, strong enough to have no fear of the anti-magic toxin. For that purpose, she had wandered around the mansion night after night, striving to regain her magical power and reduce the anti-magic power of the humans. The powerful previous Beatrice, whom she had read about in Featherine's library, had appeared openly in front of humans and had even toyed with them at will. According to her big sister, such a level of power was most impressive. To think that a witch could appear openly before humans and use magic at will. A witch like that would be so great that even I can hardly imagine it. Is that what we will eventually become? Yes. She was like a witch from a picture book, appearing openly before the humans of the mansion and summoning magic and underlings at will. How inspiring. If that is our future, it means that all of our hard work will have been worth the effort. That's right. Anyway, One-sama, how is that goal connected to going around unlocking windows like this?
It was...
It was the middle of the night. They were following behind servants who were checking the locks on the doors and windows and undoing those locks after the servants thought they had been set. It felt more like a child's prank than the work of a witch. This is the path that leads to becoming a great witch. All journeys begin with a single step. To those who cannot understand, that first step may look quite foolish from time to time. We might even look like foolish fools. Foolishly foolish fools. However, it is still a momentous first step.
It doesn't sound right because she's not speaking in German.
With pride, as though making the first step for mankind on the surface of the moon, the older sister undid the lock on a window with a click. Do you not understand, little sister? Can you not see why a little thing like this is so momentous? No, One-sama, I don't really understand. The older sister closed her eyes lightly, smiled, and opened the unlocked window a crack. Cool outside air flowed in, making the curtains flutter. Let us put it in the toxin-filled words of a human. We are not supposed to exist on this island. I shall go further. Right now, there is no one in this corridor. And yet the lock has been undone, and the window has opened. Can you see how great a miracle, a work of magic, a proof of our existence that is? Even you should understand the coolness of this breeze. It's pretty cool.
Looking cool, Beato.
I do understand. It's nice and cool. The coolness, the softness of the breeze, and the feel of the fluttering curtain touching your hair. All of these things show that we truly are here. So, by unlocking the window like this, we can leave behind proof that we really did exist. And that is why I unlocked it. Of course, it wasn't just small pranks like opening a window. She could also smash windows and vases or leave behind strange fires and mysterious scribbles. In fact, one time she actually did play a large-scale prank in the kitchen, piling up kitchenware in an eerie manner and leaving behind a bizarre scribble, which scared the servants considerably.
Oh no!
It was a complete success.
I've broken everything! And my wrist! Help! Someone call an ambulance! Oh no, we're on an island!
She'd really managed to scare the servants and had succeeded in making them acknowledge the existence of magic, weakening the anti-magic toxin.
I also like how this makes it really unclear if she refers to Beato or Kumasawa currently in the background.
However, she usually chose to make her presence known by unlocking windows. The act of unlocking symbolized her release from the limitations imposed by the human's toxin. One day, we will become a single witch and rule over all of Rokkenjima, the most eligibly single witch on Rokkenjima. When that time comes, we will gain complete freedom and will be capable of stretching our wings as we please. We won't have to be afraid of anyone's gaze anymore. We'll be able to fly wherever we wish, disappear whenever we want.
Hold up, what do you have against the gays?
Laugh however we like, prank however we like, talk with anyone we want to. Humans might ask things of us from time to time. They might fight with us or play with us too. What wonderful things for us frail creatures who cannot appear before anyone to look forward to. Right now, they are little more than pranks. However, as they pile up, proof that we exist will begin to gather. The servants already call me the witch, Beatrice, master of the night, and are beginning to believe in me bit by bit. The more they believe, the more those humans will lose their anti-magic toxin. I see. So this means that Father has no anti-magic toxin. And that's because he truly believes in the existence of the witch I am, without any doubts. I finally realized that, though I thought him to be cold, Father does possess a kindness that can't be seen. I'd like to become a great witch and appear in front of everyone soon. Indeed. Eventually, we will be able to appear openly in front of anyone. By doing that repeatedly, we shall make people believe in us even more, and eventually we shall display even our magic for all to see. At that time, we shall descend upon Rokkenjima as the great witch you told me of.
And then we get ice creams?
Yes. You can magic your way into all the ice creams you want. You might just have to do a couple of murders to get it. Is that okay?
Murder ice cream.
Okay.
The logic of the witch side is quite interesting. It keeps me entertained.
It does sound credible in a way. When humans are frightened to hear that they've entered a ghost hotspot, they're likely to start yelling, "Ghost! Ghost!" at the drop of a hat.
That's right. At a fundamental level, all phenomena are neutral, indifferent, and dull. If you want them to be viewed in a certain way, you must first create a suitable environment.
If a person has charisma, people will interpret what they do in a positive way, even when they screw up. I see. I guess in that sense, the Beato's small efforts aren't misguided.
Is there a snappier way you could phrase that sentiment?
I don't get it.
People interpreting what they do in a positive way. With it, maybe if one had love, they could know.
Huh.
It's the same thing, right? If it was just the mansion's locks being undone, everything could be resolved by saying that someone forgot to lock up, or that it was some kind of prank. However, the rumors of a witch wandering about the mansion night after night slowly began to take shape as the existence of the witch.
An environment was established so that if anything strange happened in the mansion at night, it would all be viewed as the work of the witch. I get it. If you follow that reasoning to an extreme, then what you get is no different from a witch existing in the mansion at night. This is how logic works.
I mean, Umineko has been very consistent about this point, though. like it's not the kind of logic that would pass muster on anything else, but like for specifically what Umineko is trying to convey, it's been very consistent about that. What people, as long as people believe in something, that can be taken to be the same as that thing existing.
There exists a delicious plate of tiramisu in the fridge for me later. As long as you don't contradict me, it exists.
Sounds
and I'm
good.
going to eat it.
I won't take it from you. You've earned it.
Fuck, my anti-magic toxin is going to ruin my dessert.
Maybe you can have a yogurt instead.
When you have love, even a simple cup of yogurt is as sweet as a plate of the finest tiramisu.
Unless it is oat milk yogurt. That stuff tastes slightly off.
Yeah, it really does. After the Beatos finished their mischief of unlocking and opening the window, they enjoyed the coolness of the wind and the brightness of the moon, then became gold butterflies and disappeared into the darkness. I love the squad.
The squad goals, right?
They just fuck around after bedtime and mess things up slightly.
Currently, we're on stage A of their plan, fucking around. Soon we will come to stage 2, finding out.
Can we talk about the plan progressing from stage A to stage 2?
I didn't even realize. I named it after A2 from the hit game Bayonetta.
There was no way of knowing whether the window they had opened had actually been opened by them. The servants might have forgotten to lock up, or one of the family might have opened it after the servants had locked up and forgotten to shut it again. Or maybe someone had played a prank. In the same way that none of those possibilities could be denied, it was also impossible to deny the possibility that a witch really had opened a window to enjoy the night breeze. A result without an observer can possess an endless number of ways in which it might have occurred. Humans who can't grasp anything more than a single possibility are unable to imagine anything.
However, people who believe in the possibility of a witch can imagine that it was a witch's prank. When that happens, the scene of the Beatrice's prank that we have just seen is etched into the fragment as a fact.
That's one of the foundations of magic. Embellishing the process. With just a little magic, even a mass-produced stuffed animal can be reborn as a wonderful, unique stuffed animal filled with a mother's love. If you doubt it, it'll be burnt by the anti-magic toxin. If you believe it, that magic will become the truth. Not all magic is bad. Maria One-chan was right. Good magic exists too.
It may be necessary for a child of man to possess the power to repel evil magic. However, refusing to burn away and defile love-filled magic is part of how love in the human world works.
Well, good magic is the only kind I can forgive. For all other kinds, the best remedy is to deny them and burn them away.
A typical answer for a child of man.
Getting back to the point, knowing this much, I guess this means the ghost Beatrice, who was called the ruler of Rokkenjima's night, doesn't really exist. It's nothing more than a general term for any inexplicable occurrences that take place in the mansion after dark. In other words, Beatrice isn't the name of a person, it's the name of a phenomenon. If anything bizarre happens, it all becomes the work of the Golden Witch. That environment in which a witch could exist is what Beatrice is.
Yeah, and that's one part of Beatrice, definitely. But it also, the part that Angie's kind of eliding here is that the fact that this phenomenon is named Beatrice and is associated with a particular name, a person that has an image, right? An image that Kinzo is particularly fascinated and obsessed with. That is important because that implies the existence of a historical person named Beatrice, who he became fascinated with, and who this current
and who is Italian,
yes, that is like the only theory I think we've had 100% confirmed. I don't think I'm not expecting any pushback on that one. But yeah, so like Beato contains multitudes
and pizza.
Pizza's an American food though.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I didn't think so.
I thought the idea of it being associated with Italian food was because of, like, it's a very Americanized version of what the original dish was.
Oh, absolutely. Our pizza is extremely Americanized, but I'm pretty sure pizza is a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I phrased myself poorly.
I forget whose line it is. I've been thinking about Beatrice eating a nice pizza margherita.
That would be pretty good right now, actually.
Yeah, if only I could eat cheese.
God damn it.
Anyway, that keeps building on itself until we reach 1986. This is the veil that the true culprit is hiding behind, and the person hiding behind it is, without a doubt, a human. That's it. That's the trick. I can cut cheese into an unlimited number of pieces.
Using only one slice.
Yeah. I don't eat the cheese.
The cheese eats you. Perhaps that holds true at this point in the witch's tale of the past. However, I doubt you can use that argument alone to fight all the way through 1986. Don't you? High five this, Angie. You and I, kid, we are going to go places. Specifically down to the corner store to pick up some more popcorn. As we are currently out, and you cannot run a theater without popcorn. Please do not get the kettle corn this time. The sweetness does not sit well with me.
Ridiculous. Isn't that obviously because someone forgot to lock up?
Well, you may say that, but this isn't something that just happened once or twice.
In other words, you're a klutz, a fool, and a moron of a servant who forgot to check not just once or twice, but many times over?
Shannon isn't the only one. That same window was always opened even when other servants did the rounds. Yeah, Mom even asked me if I'd ever left a window open in the hall at night.
That same window. Oh, so it's a specific one.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. I'm like, wait, hold on. Don't lie. That there's a specific window, huh?
And it always opens.
So it's just a window with a broken lock. But broken in a way that's not immediately obvious, you know what I mean? The kind where like you can like close it and lock it and you think it's fine, but then something you don't immediately see jostles it and it can fly open.
That or they have a key.
I just have a key. Yeah, I mean like either way, like it being one specific window is very interesting.
And always opened.
Yes.
Because up until this point, it seemed like we could read it as though it was just happening at random. Sometimes the window's left open, sometimes it's not. But this is a thing that's consistently happening.
On one particular
And consistently to one thing. I had absolutely nothing to do with it, but she still got pissed. Sheesh.
I'm here, Beatrice wanted to gaze at the moon.
Don't say that word.
What word? To the moon?
Ah!
What's up, Jessica?
I have familial trauma.
Wait, does Jessica even know about that?
No. But I'm treating the Ushiromiya family moon trip as canon.
But Jessica was happy to go to the moon, though. Go to the moon, see all the moon bunnies. It's a bit creepy to have that happen over and over at the same window. And that time when the kitchenware was piled up in the kitchen with a creepy magic circle scribbled there, sounds even more freaky.
Yes, they said it was an eerie magic circle, drawn with something like blood. Ever since then, people have been scared to patrol the kitchen.
About the case of the eerie magic circle in the kitchen. Who witnessed that exactly?
Well, it wasn't me. I think I heard about it from a servant kid who quit. I wasn't on duty that day.
So it's basically like this. Just like those exaggerated stories you hear about haunted locations all over the world. You servants like to have a little fun telling ghost stories about the nighttime mansion, right? You talk as though the witch exists and infect others with that belief.
So all of the eerie things that are supposedly done by Beatrice are just baseless rumors, which are either the result of coincidence and accident or something that someone fabricated for fun? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yeah, exactly. Of course there's no way Beatrice exists. Yeah, Beatrice exists. I'm glad you understand so well, Battler-san. There's probably some person by that name or else multiple persons of a fixed or unfixed number who do things and attribute it to that name. However, this delusion of a golden witch Beatrice that we're all thinking of is completely impossible. Ew, woo, woo. Ew, woo, 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 ew, woo.
The Beto alarm. Beatrice exists. I met her.
Oh, could you tell me about that in detail? You met Beatrice. Yeah, did she show you magic or something?
Ew, I see her all the time. Every time I come to Rokkenjima, and she always shows me fun magic. Denying the existence of the witch would always have the same immediate effect of infuriating Maria. However, Erica, who didn't know this trick to avoiding Maria's fury, plunged into it head on. But no matter how hard Maria tried to sell the idea of Beatrice's existence, she stood no chance of defeating the ruthlessly intelligent Erica in an argument.
Alright, listen. let's just say for the sake of argument that your Beatrice does exist, and like maybe 20 days out of the year.
Because she's picking on someone who obviously has no capability of fighting back at her level. Get it? Get it? George and Jessica hurriedly tried to calm Maria down, but there could be no quelling her anger at this point.
Good. So she showed you magic then. Could you explain in detail what kind of magic? 9-year-old kid that I'm picking on.
Yeah, I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor. She would always use magic to give me candy as a present. Beto could create candy with magic.
She just took it out of her pocket, didn't she?
No, she didn't. It was magic. It was incredible. Tons of candies poured out of an empty cup.
That is some awesome magic.
That's right. That really would be magic.
Yeah, with magic. It really was empty. I checked inside myself.
Huh? What do you mean you checked inside it?
Give it a rest, Erika-san. She's just a kid. Come to think of it, Erika-sama, would you like some more
No, thank you. I'm having a seriously intellectual discussion over here with this 9-year-old. You outsiders can stay out of this. You'll have to tell me in more detail, Maria-san. What did you mean when you say that you checked inside it? Fortunately, we have right here with us a teacup that's just been overturned and emptied. Come on, be my guest and reenact what happened then, okay? Let's see it, if you would. Let's see it.
After holding the cup of black tea, which she had just overturned and was still dripping upside down over the table, Erica slammed it down hard and slid it over to Maria. Erica's eyes glowed repulsively like those of a snake about to snap up a frog. Those eyes were ice cold and had a madness in them that made one want to avert their gaze. On the other hand, Maria was glaring furiously, her whole body shaking uncontrollably in the greatest expression of anger that a human can manage. The look on her face was frightening, not at all what you'd expect from a 9-year-old girl.
Stop it, both of you.
Okay, Beatrice took the empty cup, and then she did this. She put it upside down on the table.
Yeah? And then what? Did she lift it up right away? And candies flowed out? Incredible, that really would be magic, right? It would be.
Battler and the others tried to get between the two and calm them down, but it was no use. They violently pushed aside the others, and glaring at each other from so close that their foreheads banged together, they repeatedly slammed the upside-down cup on the table. The sound of their foreheads banging together and the cup being slapped down shattered the barrier between reality and illusion.
You dare challenge me in my own realm? It's magic. It's magic. Beato used magic to make candies appear.
Then why don't you reproduce it for us? Founder of Mariage Sorcière Maria, the Witch of Origins.
Lady Erica, this opponent is not worth your time. This battle is not worth fighting.
Shut up, murder doll. Okay, how do you claim that the overturned cup was filled with candies?
Just turning the cup over won't make candies come out because you have to use magic. Beato can use magic because he's a witch.
Oh yes, and magic. She used magic. How did she use magic? Did she swing a magic wand and tap the cup to make candies pour out? No, that can't be it, right?
Beato is a witch, so she uses magic. Magic happens when you say an incantation and cause a miracle. You can't use the magic that makes candy unless you say the incantation.
Oh, sure, understood. Good. Very good. Now, let's see this incantation. Let's see this magic. Come on, what kind of incantation would a witch use? What kind? I hope it's bippity-boppity-boo. Come. Try and picture it. The inside of the cup is filled with candies. Try and picture such a wonder.
Isn't that Maria?
Come, try it. Wow, I sounded like you for a moment. That was fucked up. Try and picture it. The inside of the cup is filled with candies. Try and picture such a wonder.
Oh? And then what?
Look inside of the cup. It is filled with candy.
Maria grasped the overturned cup so tightly that it nearly cracked and slowly lifted it up. Then from the inside, several cute candies poured out. Maria looked at Erica with a full smile as if to say, "That showed you."
Good. And this is what you like to call Beatrice's magic, is it? Dlanor! Beat her to death!
As you wish.
I won't let anyone deny Beato's magic, because magic is magic.
Magic? Magic is impossible. You might be telling a lie about something that never happened.
Repetition demanded. Failure to respond will be a violation of Nox's 7th.
I'll respond. This is the truth. This is a story of something that really happened.
This wouldn't have anything to do with the trick in the actual copper table. Making this just a sleight of hand, right? That would be against the rules, wouldn't it?
Screw the rules. I have a crown.
Hidden
Screw the
device.
rules, I've got magic.
Screw the rules. I've got magic.
Hidden devices and hidden devices and tricks are in violation of Nox's 3rd. However, if and only if foreshadowing has been presented, they are permitted by Nox's 8th. Nox's 3rd prohibits hidden doors and devices that have no clues pointing towards them. However, by presenting and foreshadowing in clues that point towards the existence of said devices, Nox's 8th allows them to be used.
There were no tricks like that. It was just an ordinary table and an ordinary cup. So it was magic, not sleight of hand.
Understood. By Nox's 9th, we acknowledge that Lady Maria witnessed magic.
That's right. With an eye, at least. Observers are always allowed to speak their personal opinions. Otherwise, mysteries where the culprit is seen dressed up as a woman and is written, "I saw a woman," would be disqualified. Sure, that's fine. Claim you saw magic all you want. All truths are nothing more than claims. So I'll make a different kind of claim and see straight through yours to the truth. That's the detective's duty, and which we shine the most.
There's nothing to see through. This is magic.
What's it magic? Only witches can use it, right?
That's right. Only witches can use it.
So, if a human like me were to use it too, that would mean it is magic, right?
You can't use it. Only Beato can use magic.
Good. Then why don't I show you? I'll make candy appear from out of this empty cup.
If you think you can, just try. It's impossible. It's impossible. Useless. Useless. There's no way a human can do it.
Please, 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 just relax and watch. Here we have an empty cup. Is that okay? It is, isn't it? Then we turn it over on the table, just like this.
Unimpressed, Lanor. Let it be known that this fight has no purpose.
Okay, can you see the incantation for creating candies? In fact, why don't we say it together? Come on, try and picture it.
The inside of the cup filled with candy. Try and picture such a wonder.
Stop! Maria-san, why did you close your eyes when you said the incantation? Why not witness the miracle of magic?
Humans are polluted by the anti-magic toxin. If a lowly human saw it, the miracle of magic would be wiped out of existence. That's why the rules say that lowly humans have to close their eyes when when using magic.
I see. I see. Okay. I understand the protocol for humans to follow when magic is being used. In other words, not once have you ever witnessed the moment that the magic happened. Isn't that right? Look, it's done now. Please, try and lift up the cup, okay? After all, I've used magic to make candies appear.
There's no way someone who makes fun of witches could use candy magic.
And if it actually does work, it'd be pretty amazing, huh? Wouldn't it?
After glaring at Erica with the utmost of malice, Maria slowly stretched her hand out towards the overturned cup. There was no way that Erica, someone who made fun of witches like this, could ever use magic. There was no way that there would ever be candy there.
So, how does
And there lay a single candy with a cute wrapper.
See? This is magic, right?
Erica smiled gently. A look of disbelieving shock rose to Maria's eyes, along with envy for this person who could use the same magic as Beato.
Erica, you can use magic too?
See? It's magic, isn't it? What I did there.
Yeah.
So, in other words,
Erica smiled pleasantly. She and Maria had finally reached a deep understanding.
of course it isn't, nerd! While you had your eyes closed, I just lifted the cup up and tossed a candy in. You call that magic? It's just a third-rate trick. There's my blue truth as the detective. Now, the witch of truth, here is my red truth. Your so-called candy magic is nothing more than a sleight of hand. Just a sleight of hand that the fake witch calling herself Beatrice or whatever claimed was magic. I mean, seriously? Did you really get fooled by such a stupid parlor trick? Any magic related by your perspective can't be trusted at all. Everything you have ever thought was magic was just a trick that you didn't get. There's no way that was magic. There's no way magic exists.
Oh, might have been sleight of hand when you put candy in this cup, but that doesn't prove that Banjo's magic was also sleight of hand. Hey, I'm back for committing tax fraud that one time. I hope I got my voice right. It was something jovial like this, right?
Probably.
Everyone loves Sakataro. You.
When did we start getting furries in here? I mean, however, you can't also prove that only magic could have done it. You rotten stuffed animal.
Please allow me to speak. Know that this is a meaningless battle. Shut the fuck up.
What? You goddamn scraps of paper. Why'd you have to butt in at the good part?
That is
Enough.
Lady
Maria.
has been shown that the candy cup magic could possibly be a trick that she misunderstood to be
Magic.
Therefore, her claim that it was magic is
Dismissed.
However, it might really have been magic when Maria saw it. Just because it can be done by sleight of hand doesn't disprove magic.
well done, Lady Erica. Congratulations on crushing Lady
Maria's
illusion of the
witch.
you beat a 9-year-old.
Congratulations.
An illusion of the witch occurs when someone tries to force the acknowledgement of magic by claiming that a thing would be impossible without it. It's how witches launch an attack. If someone's able to successfully argue back and show that it would be possible without magic, the illusion of the witch is defeated and the witch must retreat. The magic Maria claimed to have seen could have been a trick, so it was unqualified to be acknowledged as magic. However, that was only the result of this battle. It was still too early to bring the fight into the domain of the denied Beatrice, the witch and the magic that Maria believed in. However, battles always end instantly when your opponent surrenders. Erica had wanted to hit Maria with everything at once, defiling the witch and the magic she believed in, and crushing it without a fragment of compassion.
Just one more step, and I would have been able to take a heart as innocent as the smooth sand just after a wave is pulled back and tear it to bits. What a shame. This isn't fun anymore. Are you satisfied now? Ow, 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 ow.
Erica grumpily punched Lanor's arm that had been restraining her. However, that cold, hard, marble-like arm just made Erica's hand hurt.
Diplomatic immunity. This battle is over.
Allow me to speak. Diplomatic immunity accepted. Know that this fight is childish.
Did you say something?
She did
Not
let us.
withdraw.
Lady
Maria,
is no enemy of
yours.
Lady Erica. There is no need to pay any attention to small fry such as
This.
You're right. How childish. Tearing a kid's dream apart. I'm really sorry, okay? I apologize for my momentary lack of elegance. Let's go.
Erica and the others turned their backs on Maria, who was still crouching down limply. However, as detectives and famous mysteries have always done in the past, Erica clapped her hands, stopped, and turned around.
Just one more thing.
Oh, and just one more thing. What do you think? Simply by the existence of the overturned cup, this level of reasoning was possible for Verudo, Erica. What do you think, everyone?
Bow, 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 bow. She said the line!
Oh my god, she said the line! Panto, get in here, she said the line!
Wow, she said the line?
I can't believe it. It is without a doubt that she has said the line. Erica's merciless words gouged themselves into Maria's heart once more. Erica left, leaving an evil laugh behind her. I don't get paid enough to deal with this
Shit.
Let's all get
Drunk.
After bowing to Maria and Sakutaro, Delano were left as well. Gertrude and Cornelia followed suit. After that, only Maria and Sakutaro were left in the lonely Golden Land.
Oh, who are you?
Beato is a witch.
Oh, Beato is a witch.
It was magic. It was magic.
Oh, it was magic. Beato used magic to give you candy. You don't need to doubt that. Oh, please believe in Beato. You know that magic can't bear fruit unless you believe.
Surrounded by an ice-cold drizzle that had started falling at some point, Maria cried quietly, trying to at least protect her from the rain. Sakutaro used his large sleeves to cover Maria's head and stayed there by her side.
Okay, let's go, Maria. Let's play cards together in the room upstairs. Erica-san, as an adult, I can't say I was very impressed by that conversation just now.
My apologies. I'm still just a kid after all.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry? I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor.
Does your particular affliction preclude you from shutting the fuck up? I haven't seen that one in the DSM-5 yet.
DSM-5 isn't out yet, you nerd.
After seeing that wonderful candy magic brutally insulted by Erica, Maria had been crying nonstop. I started noticing it as soon as after the dinner quiz party. But your personality really is screwed up. Do you think this is fun? Do you like tearing a little kid's dreams apart?
Please stop, Battler-sama, please, for my sake. Don't push any further here, please.
Shannon, who had been looking flustered, bowed her head deeply and implored Battler to stop. George, who didn't want Shannon pressured, fell in line.
Let's go. Let's spend this year in the cousin room again. We can watch TV and play cards. I've heard that Erica-san has her own room. Shannon, please guide her there.
Ain't
Or
you bothered
else.
yet? I'll relax down here for a little while longer. I want to savor it a bit.
How are you trying to save her? Battler and the others could no longer hide their irritation. They had no obligation to entertain their uninvited guest any further than this. Erica herself understood perfectly well that no place would be welcome a detective. Battler and the others wanted to leave, and Erica wanted to stay. Neither had any desire to stop the other. Jessica urged Maria, who was still crying, to come along. Then Maria stopped and spun around.
Got a problem, kid?
Wait, hold on, I need to get the...
Wait, I give her like the SpongeBob breath.
Yeah.
Like the... No.
They do exist here and there. Humans are practically lumps of the toxin and don't believe in magic. There were lots of boys like you in my class. They don't believe in witches or magic or miracles or happiness. You can't become a witch if you let the toxin of people like that burn you to ashes. Man, look it, but I'm Beatrice's disciple, the apprentice witch of origins.
Maria, who had been crying quietly a second ago, seemed to have been transformed into an entirely different person. She laughed, no, cackled eerily. Battler's group stiffened at this sudden change, but Erica was watching calmly. Then she smiled and gave a small nod in response.
Good. You've got some guts. Good night, Miss Maria. Let's fight in a more challenging game next time.
Sure, that. It's a promise. Yeah.
You stop that too, Maria. Come on, let's go. Well, what about you, Shannon-chan? Come with us if you want to play cards.
Come on, join us for at least one round. It'll cheer you up.
Then just for a bit.
Shannon couldn't remain in the suffocating lounge any longer either. In part apologetic and in part trying to escape, she followed Battler's group. After that, Erica was the only one left in the lounge. Still wearing a thin smile, she tapped a glass with her finger. There was a light chink. Surprisingly boring sound. Even so, Erica wore a thin smile as though pleased.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just in the bath. Oh, where is everyone?
Yeah, you just missed him. He went up to the second floor. I'm the one who called you here, by the way. Heard that you know a lot about the story of Rokkenjima and the tale of the Witch of the Forest.
Yes, well, it's a trivial story, but...
I don't mind the slightest if it's trivial. Would you like a drink to follow your bath? Even I like to be helpful every now and then.
Erica stood up, opened the refrigerator behind the counter, and put ice into the ice pail. Ah, interesting. Can't wait to hear Kumasawa's version of events.
Man, Erica's such a little shit.
Did we get it established that Erica's the detective this time?
I don't think so.
Is she about to kill Kumasawa?
Maybe. Let's see. 'Cause I don't know. Okay, what did we get? She's a detective in. Oh, that wasn't necessarily true.
We
for all
got
the
it
game
last
boards.
time, but I don't know if we got it for all games.
Not a game board specific one. Let me just check the tips real quick. See if they say anything about her. The Witch of Truth, provisional, is also the detective. So the tips say that she's the detective.
The tips say a lot of shit.
The tips say a lot of shit. They do. They say a lot of stuff that we're led to believe, but it's interesting. Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, we should keep a. Well, at a minimum, she is still able to use the red.
Yep.
So. Part of me wants to say that that's not the route that's going to go. Like, I think we had it with, like, she could still be an accomplice without being the culprit herself. But that's still worth it. That's still interesting to note that it is indeed that we have not got that in red this game around. All right. Well, we'll leave it.
Wait. We're
not gonna leave it.
Wait.
What?
There's something in that description. Have we read this full description this time?
No, let me
It's
go.
different.
I'm Riddle Erica, the Witch of Truth, occasionally. I'm also the detective, and the one who calls myself an intellectual rapist. I participate in Battler's game as a player, for the human side. I possess several skills that qualify me to call myself a detective. These can be acknowledged by Burncastle and elevated to the level of Red Truth. Whether I win or lose, though, this will be the last game, and there will be no further use for me.
That wasn't there last time.
Well, I hope not. I'm a fan favorite after all.
We're gonna turn this rat into Ratatouille, which is made of rats, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Well, we'll see.
That's what the movie's about, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's about a giant mecha.
Okay.
A rat piloting a mecha, right? I haven't seen it.
Wait, can we save the title screen? What happens if I click save here?
Okay. What if we load that? For science.
Okay. What happens? Okay.
We have to go deeper.
Fair enough. We have to go deeper.
We're one level down in the game now.
You want me to load the title screen again? Is this what you want?
Apparently. I didn't know it was what I wanted.
Are you satisfied now?
We're reaching unheard of levels of meta. We're now playing the game within the game within the game.
And what level of meta does Featherine rest on, huh?
All of them, probably.
I see. Okay. Well, if it's cool with you, I'm going to load the actual file now.
All right, sure.
I almost clicked on it again. I'll leave it there for, posterity.
For clicking on accidentally next time.
Yeah, why not? You can click on it once as a treat. Funny how they're out in the courtyard that has the fucking pavilion. The one that's in the, also used in Golden Land. Yeah. Anyway, this isn't my character.
Right, it's mine.
So,
Erica-chan, huh?
I mean, I can keep stalling for time if you want. If you don't want to read your line, that's fine.
She's an odd kid. Somehow I just can't seem to get along well with the kids these days.
George can't get along with kids. Got it.
The kids these
She's
days.
Wait. She's an odd one. She's a... There's a meme there. I'll look at it.
Seymour, you're an odd fellow, but you steam a good hand.
That is exactly what I was thinking about. Erica is an odd fellow.
You're still pretty young yourself, George-san. I guess it's because I've always been the oldest of the cousins. It's always made me feel like I'm not one of the young ones anymore. I'm no longer hip.
Yeah,
I've
kind of
lost
like
my
me,
edge.
George. George and Shannon. We haven't forgotten about that. We know it's fucked up still. Don't worry. George and Shannon could be seen standing in the rainy rose garden. Though the rain was still pouring down, there was hardly any wind at all. The scant protection provided by the arbor was more than enough to house this secret meeting between lovers. Following that fight with Erica, they had decided to play some cards for a change of pace. When that was over, Shannon had returned to the servant room. And shortly after that, George had left his room to meet with Shannon at the time they had arranged. Interesting. So they have a time arranged. So it's not just they're going out to do it, they have a time arranged with each other. So if one of them were to say not show up at that time, the other one would get suspicious.
Indeed. I think kids around Erica-san's age have a hard time getting along with themselves, more so than any other age. Yeah, that's true. Around that age, most kids are so determined to free themselves from the shell of childhood that they lash out in all directions with their beaks.
Like a chick hatching out of an egg?
Indeed. When they do crack the world's shell, they'll finally be free to stretch their wings and fly high, or their wheels, as it may be. I was like that too.
Oh, wheels, you mean like what Jessica has? I think she's gay.
I was like
the
that
lesbians
too.
get wheels.
You were a lesbian once, George? Wow, tell me about it.
My old self, still trapped inside that shell, was a weak, deplorable person who I couldn't really respect. That's not true. No, it's okay.
Oh.
I realize it myself. Back then, I might have been the oldest of the cousins, but I was still a lazy, hopeless person. And it wasn't just with the cousins.
Uh-huh.
At home, at school, I was like that everywhere. I hated being like that.
Really selling me on this, George. Great job.
I wanted to break that shell and become a splendid adult like mother and father. But in the end, you did break out of that shell, George-sama. Every time I've met you these past few years, you've grown beyond recognition. Thank you. Did something cause you to make up your mind? To break out of my shell? Yeah, I can't imagine that you grew so rapidly, like a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon, by just wandering around aimlessly. I thought there must have been some turning point that made you become so determined. I fell in love with you and grew thanks to the power of love, is what I've told you so far. But the truth is, the turning point was a much more negative emotion. No way. It's hard to believe that someone who's always as bright and cheerful as you could have negative emotions.
You sure about that? You sure that's a fact?
Well, my parents brought me up to treat women with care. Beginnings of a sentence that make you instantly clench.
Red flags going off.
And I thought I'd manage to live my life that way. Yes, I think you're wonderful, a real gentleman. But I'm not, actually. Well, I didn't know how to interact with the opposite sex. I deified them excessively, and though I always behaved in a gentlemanly ladies first kind of way, I was probably outright afraid of interacting with girls.
George is a nice guy. George is a nice guy. Of course, George had wanted to be around girls as much as any healthy boy might. However, he didn't know how to interact with them. He wanted to act like a gentleman, to avoid being disliked by them, treating them with care. Of those feelings, only the words treat women with care took precedence, blossoming into a subconscious sphere of women.
You might call a man like that gentlemanly or a late bloomer. Ridiculous. I was just a coward. Because of that, I started to wonder why I couldn't get a girlfriend if I was so gentlemanly. And I eventually came to the conclusion that all the women in the world had no taste, and started to hate all of them, selfishly. Oh my god.
You sure will be a George incel arc. Are we all ready for this?
I'm so not ready for this.
Like, we've seen bits and pieces of this, but I don't think it has ever been, like... I don't think it was ever, like, put that... The big hit is that he's chasing someone who is clearly not his age.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I don't think I had it in my mind that it was... that George was this far up the incel tree.
Well, that's what a truly pathetic man looks like. How many years ago was it when I noticed? Probably when I was in middle school. At the time, I assumed I was obviously the most gentlemanly of the cousins, so I would obviously be popular with women. However, reality was very different. At school, I was pretty much completely hopeless. Far from being a leader, I was a typical bullied kid who got pushed around by everyone. At the time, I figured I was just a capable and adaptable man who could keep in perfect tune with his surroundings. How stupid. Sure, I might have gained some measure of trust from girls. However, not only was there no one who would become my girlfriend, there weren't even any girls I could call friends. Of course, I was a man who always stepped back for the sake of ladies first. Who would ever want to follow behind such a negative, unmotivated man? It's funny. I didn't even realize this and was convinced that I was an attractive guy. I can sort of understand how you felt. Just because someone puts in a lot of hard work to look attractive to the opposite sex, it doesn't necessarily work out as they plan. Oh? Has that happened to you too, Shannon? Of course. One time I wanted to catch a boy's eye so much, I tried to put on makeup even though I didn't know how, and embarrassed myself. I remember a lot of embarrassing failures. The person that made me finally get over my conceit and open my eyes was you, Shannon. No, it was both of you. Both of who? George? Who?
What?
Both of who, George? George?
George?
Don't leave me hanging.
George? Come on, buddy. What's going on, bro?
What was the turning point for you, George-san? Envy, probably. That's unexpected. But envy over what? I saw you and Battler-kun having a really good time talking.
Is this it? Because this had to be at least 6 years ago.
What do you mean? Is what?
This. Because remember we kept theorizing about what it was that Battler did to elicit these feelings. We assumed it was Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
This could be it. Because if he's recalling this and how he's made him turn his life around, this isn't from today. This is from 6 years ago, at least.
That made me envious. Me and Battler-sama?
Shannon raced through her memories, trying to find a conversation that might have made George envious.
It probably seemed trivial to you two, however, it still made me envious. I don't want Battler to hear what I say next, no matter what. Can you promise me? Of course. That's going to be a shameful confession. Still, I want you to hear it. I want to hear your answer tonight, only after I've told you about my bad sides as well. Okay, let me hear it.
With a smile but a serious look in her eyes, Shannon nodded. Tonight. She knew that what he was going to ask her tonight. George had the right to confess before asking that sacred question, and Shannon had the obligation to listen. Shannon understood this, so she listened quietly.
So this is what a witch of theater going peeps in on during her spare time.
Stories of love are precious in my age, in any age. I never tire of them. However, I do find that expression of virgin disgust on your face to be even more amusing.
Excuse me, this is Chad disgust.
Yes,
I've been practicing my
you
disgust.
keep telling yourself that. Did we decide you're narrating the bits with Dan?
Oh, we totally did. I already forgot. Thank you. Featherine laughed quietly. Angie huffed and looked away, but she quickly realized that this would only entertain Featherine even more, so she tried to act unconcerned.
Can you... I'd like an Irish coffee. Can you make it virgin?
Of course I can make an Irish coffee. You didn't have to be so rude.
Oh, rude. Sorry. We also got some fan art of Featherine and Angie in the theater together, with Featherine loudly chewing on popcorn. Oh, good times. I love
times.
it. These two have great energy.
Both Battler-kun and Jessica-chan have always been spirited. No, phrasing it that way is just dodging the issue. Let me be frank. Hello,
But
I'm
you're
Frank.
George. Good. Glad we shared the brain cell. George looked up at where the moon should be, high above the rain clouds, and spoke. They were honest words spoken simply from George's heart.
For a long time back then, I thought of Battler-kun and Jessica-chan as bad-mannered kids. No, let me be even more blunt. I thought that even the way they talked was vulgar. It's true. I don't mind if you hold me in contempt for that. I don't.
Hey, Jessica. Jessica, you want to see something really cool?
Yeah, sure. What?
Penis.
Wow, that was
five me.
really cool.
High five me. Yeah, that'll really piss off George in the future, I'm sure.
Let's compete for who can yell it louder. I want them to hear it from the Tokyo mainland. You first. You go first.
All right, but I don't want our upstairs neighbors to...
Coward.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry, I don't want us to get kicked out of our apartment.
People are allowed to think anything they want inside their hearts. In fact, I think you were all the more commendable for not letting it show on the outside. Thanks. I secretly looked down on those two. I was so conceited that I truly thought I was just overflowing with gentlemanly charm compared to them. I was at that age where having a girlfriend felt like a necessary condition for becoming a real man. I truly believe that no girl could fail to admire a gentleman who treated girls as well as I did.
Ew, nice guy, George.
But they didn't treat me like a person. They treated me like an item. I was a gamer, so I didn't get respect.
Are we done quoting people that are funnier than us?
So I really did assume that the girls I knew were attracted to me. I thought that Battler-kun and Jessica-chan, who always joked around and spoke in a rude, vulgar fashion, would never be able to get a boyfriend or girlfriend. I might have used that argument to distract myself when I still couldn't get one myself. I was a fool. They weren't inferior to me at all. I was the inferior one, with my deification of the opposite sex and my fear, which I hid under the guise of ladies first.
That has been Battler's and Jessica's personality from the beginning. True, they were rude, and one couldn't have called them gentlemanly nor ladylike. However, they did have the power to interact without worrying about gender. In fact, you might even call that their charm.
I have the power to worry about gender even without interacting. Just watch. I worried.
How about you, Angie?
I sort of understand. People like Oni-chan and Jessica One-chan can get along with anyone, whether that person's a boy or a girl. I hate to bring it up because of George Oni-chan, but I find people who act too overtly like a gentleman a bit creepy. It's like they're virgin tryhards or whatever.
I don't know. I was trying to think of funny incel lingo for Featherine to spout here, and thankfully I don't seem to have any off the
That's
top
good.
of my
Don't
head.
acquire any.
Yeah, like
this is a sign that you are. This is a sign that you are living a righteous and blessed life.
just know that I tried, and the thought was there, but for my own betterment, I have failed to do so.
If you do know any applicable terms, don't sound off in the comments.
Don't sound just whisper them to yourself in like a closed room and then let it free into the world. You'll be free. When dealing with strangers, people prefer for them to be harmless and boring. However, they only appreciate these qualities because such a person doesn't get in the way. No human would want to hang around with a person boring all the time.
Of course, no idiot would want to be friends with an unmoving, unspeaking telephone pole, George. However, unmoving and unspeaking is exactly what you'd want from a telephone pole. Unless you're cool.
Hey guys, check out my new girlfriend. She's you can't see her now though. She lives in Canada, and she's buried into the earth a little bit and holds electric wires in the. That is it. It seems as though George finally discovered that he wouldn't be viewed as an attractive man, no matter how superior he was, and that he had been treated like a telephone pole the whole time.
Back then, my conceit was at its peak. So when everyone gathered at the family conference, I believed that I was the most attractive and that all the servant girls who played with us loved having me there. On that day, I finally realized how pathetic I was. Did I say something inconsiderate then? No, it's the opposite. You didn't say anything at all. My conceited delusion that I was the only one ever reflected in your eyes was crushed. And that's when I decided to change my entire life around purely to pursue you specifically like a psychologically well-adjusted person. Just when did it start? No, it must have started long before then. I only failed to notice because my eyes were clouded with conceit. One day, I suddenly realized it. All of you were getting along with Battler-kun and Jessica-chan far better than with me, playing around and having a good time. Yes, those two, whom I had looked down upon so much, were radiating far more charm than I was. You really looked like you were enjoying yourself that day. The look on your face was far brighter than any you ever showed me. Sickening, isn't it? I just assumed that you liked me, and even had some childish fantasy that we might end up dating. I one-sidedly felt as though my girlfriend had been stolen from me and let myself feel hurt.
So he felt so something happened to make him feel like his girlfriend, like Shannon, had been stolen from him. So yeah, it probably was indeed Battler doing saying something to Shannon that she took to mean, him coming back on a white horse.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon doesn't know George had seen this, so she's like, what the heck did I say?
Yep. I was such a pathetic man.
Both of you. Why, I'm still stuck on both of you. Is he referring?
Shannon is canon. Canon is Shannon.
I can accept that might be, like, I still haven't, like, I'd be fine if that was the case. I just feel like there's so many scenes where they're both there.
Okay, but are there any in specifically chapter 1? Because we now know that all the other chapters are fake.
Yeah. Canon from afar looking like even I.
Yeah, canon from afar, not there with the others.
But with Goda.
Was canon with Goda from afar? That was
because they were moving fertilizer.
Oh, Shannon was there in that scene?
Shannon was with the kids in that scene, yeah.
Still, I want to believe. Shannon and Canon are the same person.
If I can have Tran in theory, you can have them
Shannon and Canon are the same person, which, okay, let me sell this to you a little bit. This would imply Tran in theory, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm on board now.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I will subscribe to your newsletter.
Thank you. Updates come once every 5 minutes.
Oh, fuck no.
There's no unsubscribe button. You can't log off.
No. I hate this. Why have I done this to myself? What do I even get out of this?
It's unclear. George-sama. After that, stuff happened, and Battler-kun stopped coming to the family conferences, but I heard about him from time to time from Uncle Rudolph. He's a pretty funny guy.
After that, stuff happened. And so that is the 6 years ago thing.
Yep.
That is the 6 years ago thing. So something about what Battler said to Jessica, or not to Jessica, God, what Battler said to Shannon, George took to mean Battler stealing his prospective girlfriend away.
Mm-hmm.
Which would also work with what we guessed Battler had said to Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard about him from Rudolph. Okay, cool.
Even though he got in fights with Battler-kun all the time, he always paid close attention to what his son was up to.
Pretty funny guy. Yeah, that's me.
Funniest shit I ever seen.
I turned myself into a pickle, guys. Guys, I can't move.
That's true. He spoke to me about it as well.
Pickle witch.
I think even Asuma-sama was exasperated by it. She thought all his popularity with the girls at school and the unceasing trouble this caused must have been because of Rudolph-sama's blood.
So Asuma was still alive at this time.
And Jessica-chan too. I hear she built up a huge number of friends, both boys and girls, and that she was always right in the middle of things. When I talked with her myself, I could see that this was no exaggeration.
And we know that's true because Jessica had a big group of friends and was playing Toho music.
Yep.
Jessica canonically plays Toho.
Canonically plays Toho, canonically carries brass knuckles.
Yep. Yep. And canon canonically has drip.
This proved that the two I'd looked down upon were much more attractive human beings than I was. At first, I tried to imitate those two. It was pretty ridiculous. I thought that by joking around and speaking rudely, I could get that same charm they had. You did that? It's a bit hard to picture. It was miserable. I wish I could forget that time for the rest of my life. In any event, I quickly realized that I could never become truly attractive by imitating them like that. The reason I had no charm was because of my cowardice. Under the pretense of respecting people and acting to fit in with the general atmosphere, I was always running away. I resolved myself to overcome that flaw and be reborn. I finally understood the shell I was in, and I swore to break out of it. Every time my determination began to waver, I'd remember that day. That day I saw you two forget about me entirely and play around happily. And the fact that those eyes of yours, which I always assumed were attracted to me, never noticed me at all. That's what I look for in a woman.
Oh, that's great.
I made an oath. This time, I wanted to be the one who caught your attention for real, the one reflected in your eyes. That's actually the first thing I felt when I fell in love with you. Sounds like it was pretty complicated for you. On that day, my desire for revenge against the two of you who had ignored me and played together, no, against you alone, suddenly transformed into true love.
Okay, buddy.
However, I swear this to God. Even though that was the reason I first started to take you seriously, there are no lies in the way I feel about you now. I swear to love you for all my life. I will not lie about that for anyone or anything. And I am prepared to take you as my wife, even if it means having the entire world as my enemy. George-san. That's the confession I wanted to make to you beforehand. Before now, I've called you my first love at first sight. That was a lie. It was only my selfish, twisted... That doesn't matter.
Shannon smiled, but she spoke forcefully enough to cut through George's words.
Is there some rule saying that people can't get together just because they weren't each other's first love? Is it betrayal to forget the first person you fell in love with? Love isn't that simple. Well, it might be simple. After all, love is easy. At all times, whatever you feel now. Only the honest feelings you feel now can tell you the right answer. So, things of the past or how our relationship started aren't important at all. Then, confessing to all that was wrong of me? No, I'm a bit glad to learn that even George-san, who's always perfect at everything, has a human side to him. And I'm kind of glad that I'm the only person you've told this to. Thank you. I was only able to become who I am because of you. Me too. And it's only because of me that you'll become not a person, at least in some timelines.
What? Pardon me?
I am as I am because of you, George-san, so please tell me without holding back. What kind of husband and wife will we be, and what kind of future will we build together? When I have you as my wife, I will become an even more accomplished businessman than my father. And after several challenges and adventures, I hope to find the limits of my potential. I want to reach that peak together with you. The view from there will be something no one can show you but me. It sounds fun. I'll be with you wherever you go. Of course, it won't only be an adventure as a businessman. I'd like to create many things that only a couple can make.
Oh, you mean like monogrammed towelettes?
And two-person co-op board games.
Oh, and like maybe a couple's partner EDH deck. Or two-headed
Yes.
giant.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
okay, I
That's what I
understand.
had in mind.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Sure. They haven't invented it yet, though. And what could that be? Let's have some kids. Yes, my husband. I'd like 3 of them at least one boy and 1 girl. And what if all 3 are boys? Then the next one might be a girl. We can have a 4th one. It doesn't matter how many. Let's enjoy the adventure of bringing them up together, and when those children eventually leave their nest, they'll make us some grandchildren. Before we know it, we'll reach a boisterous old age surrounded by a whole crowd of kids and grandchildren. It sounds like fun. I wonder what kind of a grandpa you'll be. I wonder what kind of a grandma you'll be. However, I will always keep loving you. And when we eventually pass away, surrounded by our vast family, our lives will stretch behind us, unmatched by anyone else's.
George didn't just talk about his love of the present. He swore to love her soul until the final moment when the lid of their coffins would be shut.
But if we get, reanimated, then
All bets are off?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Of course, that's the standard post-nuptial clause. Then George took a small box out of his pocket. Even without opening it, she knew what was inside. He took it out with a motion that was even more natural than the one he'd practiced in the airport bathroom, and it was overflowing with masculine charm.
Sayo. Yes. Let's get married. Yes. Please, take this ring and put it on your finger. Yes, George-san.
That ring, which glistened divinely even in the dim light of the arbor, passed from George's hand onto Shannon's finger. Of course, Shannon had already decided which finger to put it on.
Visual gags.
I mean, I think people can guess what finger you decided to put yours on.
I swear to resolutely stand against any fate that may attempt to stand in the way of our future.
George proclaimed that he would never reveal their engagement. God fucking damn it. George proclaimed that he would reveal their engagement to the entire family on the next day.
My parents might criticize this marriage, however, I will not let them stop us. I'm going to inform them of our engagement, not ask for their permission. If Mother says that she won't allow our marriage, I plan to have myself disinherited and will leave this family together. I have been prepared for that since long ago. I swear once again to resolutely stand against all fates that get in the way of our future.
George had said it aloud, so Shannon said the same thing.
Me too. I swear to stand against all fates that get in the way of our future, George-san. Oh, what's that? I'm getting a my future's in danger sense from all your family members, George. All of them.
Battler-san, when will the crime start? I've just about had it with this love show.
Be quiet and watch.
Yeah, sure, fine. I need to yawn and let some spectacular bit of foreshadowing slip by.
Do you have no love?
Are there any mystery novels that accept love as proof? No, there aren't.
Erica laughed coldly and stared down at the two on the game board. Battler watched her quietly. Erica thought she felt a touch of pity in his gaze, and she averted her eyes uncomfortably.
I do understand, more or less. Love can at least become a motive for murder. I can interpret the scene beneath the arbor to represent a possible motive for the crime if their engagement is somehow impeded. Then again, no matter how much people talk of love with words that aren't read, it's all just an illusion.
That's sad. So, you could never love a human without proof given to you by a witch.
Please put an end to this frivolous love talk. I'm your enemy, not a friend you could just talk to about love just for the hell of it. Can't understand you at all right now. Like, what on earth did you figure out? Weren't you and Beto always insulting and trying to kill each other? What kind of truth could you have reached to make you change your emotions regarding her? Please don't tell me the feelings of true love have spread from your murderous rivalry or anything like that, okay?
Lady Erica, let us have him continue the game's
Progression.
boring love scenes such as this are best finished
Quickly.
Eh, you got a point there. Sorry for butting in. Come on, let's move on.
That stare battle is just like, ooh.
Don't tell me that your feelings of murderous rivalry sprouted into feelings of true love.
What?
Battler sweating. No,
What?
absolutely not. No.
What? Of course not. What are you talking about? What? No, never. What? you card.
It's Shannon. I've come back.
Indeed. The log for today has not yet been filled out.
Yes, I'll do that right away. Cannon-kun, thanks for keeping an eye out while I was gone.
That was a pretty long break. Standard is 15 minutes for every 2 hours worked. The half-hour lunch allotted for every 4 hours. Shannon had already noticed. There was a silvery glint coming from the ring finger on Shannon's left hand. Then I will retire. Please, do not hesitate to wake me if anything occurs.
Enjoy your retirement, Genji. Congrats.
Why do you say that with such menace?
Good night,
Good night,
Genji-sama.
Genji disappeared off to the waiting room. After that, only Shannon and Cannon remained.
Thanks for giving me some time. I'll stay here for the rest, so you can go to sleep now.
So it's my turn next.
Yeah. Sorry, but we aren't going to lose.
And I won't lose either.
Even though you've always been a coward and let Milady take the lead until now?
Wasn't it you who taught me, Nae-san?
What did I teach you?
How to crochet that one time? How to properly fold a napkin? That was weird. In what order to use the spoons? The past is immaterial when it comes to love. The present is all that matters. If that is true, then I think my present is in no way inferior to yours, Nae-san.
Which spoon to use when? Number 5 will shock you.
Shannon and Cannon glared at each other with serious eyes. That period of tension vanished when Shannon chuckled.
Yeah, that's good. You and Milady have to give it your all. If you do end up together, make sure you build up a relationship wonderful enough that the rest of us can cheer you on with all our hearts.
Well, you do have a huge lead on me.
There's no helping that. That's what you get for your cowardice before now.
I know. That is my sin. Shannon and Cannon fished around in their pockets and drew out 2 small things that glittered gold. They looked like the left and right wings of a gold butterfly.
We are furniture. In order to become human and receive the miracle that allows us to love, we must rely on a miracle of magic once again.
To think that her brooch would actually prove useful.
It's the only magic within our reach.
Oh hey, the brooch. Yay. It was the golden butterfly brooch, which Beatrice had once given to Shannon in hopes of creating love between her and George. Shannon then gave it to Cannon, but he let his emotions get a hold of him and crushed it into pieces. So when the 2 wings they held were brought together, it would regain the form of a beautiful butterfly. Then I'll be back soon. After all, they have asked me to play cards with them.
Yeah. Good luck. I'm sure Milady will be happy.
It'll be a bit embarrassing.
Enjoy that feeling.
Cannon left the servant room. He went to go see Jessica, tell her what he had determined to do. Shannon quietly watched him go. The fragment of the brooch and the engagement ring let off a gold and silver glint.
That takes me back. That's something I gave Shannon, if I recall. I always wondered if they lost it after Cannon stepped on it, but it seems they still had it the whole time. That's the golden butterfly brooch, isn't it? I read about the magical brooch that can save a love relationship in Featherine-san's book. That had been the first time that Beatrice, Witch of the Forest, had interacted with a human and given them her power. Bit by bit, she had transformed from a mere ghost into the ruler of the mansion at night. And by making the servants believe in her, she had wiped away the anti-magic power. And then, it eventually became possible for her to appear openly in front of Shannon, whose magic resistance had grown particularly low and who had begun to believe in the existence of Beatrice. To Beato, who had been unable to interact with anyone for many years, this conversation with Shannon must have been especially fun. That's why I generously gave her the butterfly brooch. I was in quite a good mood. It is no common thing for a heartless witch such as myself to be so gracious. But it's wonderful. You brought a pair of future lovers together. Of course, I did not do it to pamper them. It was in exchange for smashing that hateful spirit mirror that had repressed my magical powers. Thanks to that, I was able to regain much of my power all in one go.
Oh, but then one night purple lightning smashed the shrine. Those of the surrounding islands called it an evil omen. Oh, now that I think of it, that must have been a prelude to Beatrice's resurrection. Oh. Kumasawa had the rest of the night off. So she had let Erika talk her into drinking a bit, and was chatting about the legend of Akajikishima and Beatrice in a happy, tipsy mood. Erika would nod from time to time, but besides this, she listened in complete silence. She wasn't actually taking notes, but she was gathering information on the whiteboard inside her head. Then she frowned as though noticing something out of place and held up her hand.
Wait a second.
Oh, yes?
That shrine was built by a traveling Shugenja monk to seal up the evil spirits of Akajikishima. Isn't that right?
Oh, yes, that is correct. It was one who possessed a vast supernatural power and placed that power within the mirror.
And placed it within the shrine as a sacred mirror to seal the evil spirits. Something feels off about that. Why would a shrine to seal the evil spirits of Akajikishima also seal Beatrice?
Well, because the sacred mirror of spiritual power.
I see. So this really convenient sacred mirror that works on both evil spirits from the east and witches from the west. I got it. I'm still not satisfied, but I'll back off there for now. What I don't understand is, why is Beatrice can't stand spiderwebs?
According to the legend, the evil spirits of Akujigashima despise spiderwebs, so they were apparently used as wards against evil in the surrounding islands. In fact, spiders are a useful bug. There's nothing strange about the fact that the island farmers had treasured them. Very possible that they were then tied to the story of evil spirits and became known as charms against evil, leading to a tradition of people treating this useful bug with care through the generations.
But that's just a legend of Akajigashima.
What's up?
Do I have sound?
Yeah, you have sound.
Oh, okay. I looked over there and saw it was all blank and was like, did my mic get disconnected? Okay. Sorry for that.
No
Ooh.
worries. Now we just have a little funny little bit in the end of the episode here where people are going to be like, hey, why are you talking about your microphone? I'll be like, because I didn't take it out. Whatever.
Sorry for the immersion break.
That's all right.
Immersion breaker.
The origins of the legend of the witch Beatrice came after Ushiromi Akinzo moved to this island, when rumors spread about the mysterious legend of the gold, as well as the witch of the mistress who gave it to him. The witch mistress who gave it to him.
Witchstress.
Witchstress, if you will.
And I will.
In other words, the evil spirits of Akajigashima and the golden witch Beatrice were originally completely different things. And the stories treat them like they're the same.
Well now. The evil spirits of Akujigashima couldn't stand spiderwebs, so neither could Beatrice. Well, that sort of reasoning had been applied all over the place. When it was pointed out that this was strange, Kumasawa was lost for an answer.
The doorknob to Kinzo-san's study has a scorpion magic circle drawn on it, which represents a charm against evil in Western sorcery. That's why the Western witch Beatrice can't touch it. I can understand that part.
I just remembered, we've already established Beatrice is a Western witch. She's Western because she's Italian.
Yes, that's
the reason why.
Yes. You forgot about that? You were so proud of that.
I forgot that we already had it established that she was a Western witch specifically.
But there's no reason for Beatrice.
I mean, she's got golden hair and stuff.
Yeah, but Battler has like neon red hair. Jessica's got golden hair.
But we already have reason to doubt how they look, and we
Yeah.
don't have reason to doubt the portrait.
You heard it here first. We have no reason to doubt the portrait. The portrait is
There you
not
go.
in any way
Hot
sus.
take. I think the painting probably exists and probably looks exactly like that.
But there's no reason for Beatrice to dislike spiderwebs. I don't remember spiderwebs ever being included among the things witches can't stand. On the contrary, wouldn't spiders be friends and minions of a witch?
Well,
In my opinion, those two legends about the evil spirits of Akajigashima and the witch Beatrice have been mixed together a little. In fact, maybe they've been fully fused together into one. The legend of Akajigashima is a fairy tale created by fishermen fearful of reefs in the Rokkenjima area. However, there is no visual image to go along with those evil spirits. Are they people, or monsters, or ghosts without legs? There's no mental picture of them. People are bad at imagining things without visuals, you know. That's why when you gotta write a book, you have to make sure it's a picture book. I feel like a picture book. There's gotta be a snappier way to say that. Anyway, that's when the legend of the witch called Beatrice came in. A witch is a lot easier to picture than evil spirits. And on top of that, Kinzo's on a portrait of Beatrice drawn and displayed. In other words, that lack of a visual image was the one weak point in the legend of Rokkenjima was finally completed. Since then, perhaps the two legends have been mixed together.
Well, I wonder. It is a bit confusing for an old lady such as myself.
Kumasawa laughed to smooth it over, wiping away a cold sweat. She might have seemed confused, but she actually did understand what Erika was saying. In truth, she had been vaguely aware of how the legend of Rokkenjima, which had been around before Ushiromi Kinzo had come to Rokkenjima, and the legend of the Golden Witch, the story of the woman who had given Kinzo a vast quantity of gold, had both transformed. She didn't want to acknowledge it, but she knew. The setting where Beatrice hated the spirit mirror and spiderwebs. This had been based on the ancient legend of Rokkenjima. The evil spirits part of that legend had just been replaced by the witch of the portrait.
So, it really was someone claiming to be the Golden Witch Beatrice. You'd like to ask her whether she actually does hate spider webs or not. Yeah, what happens when she touches them?
Oh, they said that witches and their minions receive burns when they touch spiderwebs, so that's probably what would happen, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not bad. Splendid witch trial. Spiderweb touches her, she gets burned. And she's an evil spirit, not a witch. There's nothing out to prove she's just a human. In other words, whether she burned or not, prove the Golden Witch doesn't exist. Legend of the Witch is nothing more than Legend of Rokkenjima. He boiled him with a new face on it.
Well,
Simply by the existence of the legend itself, this level of reasoning is possible for Perudo Erika. What do you think, everyone?
Only the two of them were in the lounge. Erika faced the direction of an invisible audience, could have been, and shrugged. And just as Erika imagined, the targets of her comments were actually there, listening in.
Spider webs, they burn if you touch them?
When Beato the Elder snapped her fingers, a graceful silver spider dropped down from the ceiling, hanging by a transparent thread. Afterwards, only a single silver strand remained. Timidly, Beato stretched her finger out towards the spider string. Then she touched it.
I'm fine. You are? Huh?
Beato the Elder lifted up a white, pale finger, and after showing it to her little sister, she traced the silver string with it. It was essentially like a single hair being burnt. So this is interesting, because this establishes a difference in how the two Beatrices understand the legend of the witch.
Yeah.
They have a difference in understanding what it means to be Beatrice, one of which has been changed more by the stories that came beforehand of the legends of the island, and one that hasn't had that. Once again, she held her finger up in front of Beato, who was stunned. There was a thin burn line, as though someone had traced it across with a razor. Now, this is still consistent with our idea of Canon being programmer Beatrice, as Canon was the one who was shown to be burnt by the spider web, right? Obviously, that scene didn't happen, but still, there was a reason we were shown that.
What's going on? That's what I would like to know. Why are you unharmed? I don't know. What I don't understand is why you do get burned by touching a spider web. I do not know. It has always been like that since I first gained consciousness. Then, are you?
Beato hesitated. However, her question was clear.
No, I am not one of the evil spirits of Rokkenjima. I am Beatrice, ruler of Rokkenjima's night. Even I do not know why I have the same weaknesses as this island's evil spirits of old.
So this represents Beatrice as an extension of those older legends of Rokkenjima, and this one represents Beatrice as a representation of solely the modern fable of the Witch of the Portrait. Maybe?
Maybe. Are spiderwebs the only things you can't handle? As this Erika person said, I cannot touch the doorknob to Kinzo's study. That scorpion magic circle burns me. For me, trying to open the door to that study is like trying to pick a red-hot horseshoe out of a fire. What about you? Huh? Scorpion magic circles, you mean?
The older sister snapped her fingers again. When she did, the surrounding scene bent and twisted, and they had suddenly moved to the place in front of Kinzo's study. And there was the doorknob engraved with the scorpion magic circle.
Those who research magic must have a refuge sealed off from both human and spiritual disturbances. It's no surprise that Kinzo chose to seal off his study and place a charm such as this here. And unfortunately, that affects me as well.
She gently grasped the doorknob. She did a violent burning sound, unbelievably stronger than the one caused by the spiderweb, rang out.
One-sama, are you okay? Your hand. Ah!
Her hand had been horribly burnt, and Beato couldn't help but avert her eyes.
Fear not. This scratch will heal quickly.
Apparently it would heal by itself if left alone. The older sister seemed to heal at an inhuman rate.
However, it seems that you can handle it just fine. Ah!
She timidly poked the doorknob, and nothing happened. Slowly, she touched it with her entire palm, but she felt nothing but a pleasantly cool sensation.
Strange. Though you are my double, you are different from me in several ways. While I might be able to touch the doorknob, if I ever get burnt like you did, I don't think I'd heal that easily. It's as though you're a normal human. Yes. Even I find it a little hard to believe that I'm a witch. I can't use magic like you, and I can't get strange burns or heal from them later. Father believed that I was a great witch reborn, but I cannot believe that. Who are you? I'm Beatrice. I was born for Father's sake. And you, One-sama? I am also Beatrice. I used magic to give Kinzo gold, and later became a soul and the formless witch that haunts this island. Just who on earth are we? Unlike me, you seem to be a being in possession of a body. Huh? Really? Yes. I thought of it while listening to that Erica person. I am a witch who can use magic, but has no body. And you are a witch who has a body, but can use no magic. Eventually, perhaps we will become one, each filling in what the other lacks, to form the true, complete Beatrice. It seemed to make sense. Both of the Beatrices were missing something. If they became one, then they would surely be very close to the Beatrice that Battler desired. Do you want to try? Huh? Hold out your hand. The older sister slowly raised her palm and held it out before Beato. The large burn from a second ago really had started to heal already. It may be possible for us to become one. I want to know as well. By becoming one with you, I want to learn about my future self. Beato also raised her hand slowly, and the two hands touched. But nothing happened.
Are we supposed to say fusion ha or something?
I'm not sure. I haven't learned the spell yet. Perhaps this meant that while they were fated to become one eventually, that time had not yet come.
This also does sound very like much like what we think Kinzo was trying to do with the Beatrice held captive in Kubodorian.
It's also interesting that we specifically get at this point that one of them has a body and one doesn't, which kind of cuts against my idea that like either it's Shannon and Cannon here talking or it's Shannon and Kumasawa or something.
Oh, I don't think this
seems like there's one person here who is summoning the other.
I don't think this scene is happening at all on the island.
Yeah, but I mean all of the things with the two Beatrices. I assume that they represented in some way that there were two people.
I just assumed that they represented kind of like the idea, like what these two Beatrices represented. But since they're not like interacting with anyone else, it's just they're more abstract than they would be if they were on the board.
Maybe. That said,
because we're not having Battler and Erica react to these, but Featherine and Angie are.
That's true.
So these don't seem to be taking place on the board.
But that said, we do get the whole you have a body and I don't, which I find interesting.
Yeah.
That seems important.
I think it kind of highlights the inherent tension between the different beings that are Beatrice. Anyway.
For me, being burned by spiderwebs is perfectly normal. However, you didn't even know about it. In the same way, you say that the reason you were born was for your father's sake. Apparently, that father is Uchiromiya Battler. I know him as a rare guest who only comes a few times a year. Looks directly at camera. But I cannot understand what connection you and I have with such an infrequent visitor.
Sucks for all those Beato Battler shippers out there, huh?
What?
Battler only comes a few times a year.
Got him. Surely, we must learn more about each other.
Sorry, I have the emotional maturity of like a brick.
Yeah, you're right. I get the feeling that learning about each other will lead us to something very important. On the other side lies the single future Beatrice. No, it may be more correct to call her the true form we are meant to possess.
With their hands still joined, the two Beatrices swore to fill in the parts the other lacked and regain their single form. Bit by bit, Beato was walking down the path that led her to the former Beatrice. What a great game.
Yeah.
I really love these scenes between Beatos.
Yeah.
It's oddly sweet.
More Beatos.
More witches, please. Just pile them up. I would like nothing but more witches.
I'm witch maxing.
What if, oops, accidentally witches all over your game? Oh no, look at all the cute murder ladies.
Good times.
Come join us next time when we're trapped in the room again.
Yeet.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.